Twitter question here. What is your all-time 11 that you played with? At the Gills, I would have to say, Ash and Leon Johnson at the back. You got to have Nyron at right back. Left back, oh, that's a tough one. If I was to, do you know what? I think I would push. I'm going to change it. I'll put Leon at left back. He used to hate it, but it used to be so funny during the game because you used to see his face and he used to be crying. It used to be hilarious. So I'd put Leon at left back just for the laugh. Nyron and Ash centre half. Pato at right back. You got to have Smudger in there. Left wing you'll have Jaro. You got to have right wing. I think you have to have Hesse. I think you would go in with Smudge. You'd have to go. Sungdo won't like it if I miss him out. But I think Sungdo always done brilliant. And then up front, you've got to have Paul Shaw and I think Marlon King. That would be my ultimate 11 and put myself in goal. From another question, Ben George 02. What was the best save you ever made? Oh, I think it would have to be. I think Colchester. When we just been relegated, I was playing in the team. And obviously, everything was going on, and that ended up keeping me here. Because if things wouldn't have gone right and the other goalkeeper would have been fit, I'd end up at Millwall. So it was a save. Colchester last minute, guys cut it back, and I've managed to just somehow tip it onto the post, and we ended up winning the game 1-0, which then helped us to catapult. I think we'd started off at a bit of a poor start, so it helped us to get back on track. So I have to say probably that, just for the magnitude and obviously the way it ended up keeping me here. Tomo GFC, next question. What music do you most like listening to? It would have to be hip hop. I'm a massive hip hop fan. I love R&B. Those are the ones. Tomo GFC again. When you was at Gills, what was the greatest match you were in and why? As I said earlier, I've been fortunate enough to play in some real good games. The Derby one was special, as I said, playing against the type of players, Robert Lee at the time, Ravanelli, they had Chris Riggett, they had an unbelievable team. But if I was thinking about it now, it would probably be away to Ipswich. The 1-0, we was under a lot of pressure for a lot of the game, and as I said, we was total underdogs, but we ended up getting the win and making a save in the last minute, tipping it onto the post again. It was unbelievable, and yeah, that's one that firmly sticks in my memory, and I know it sticks in theirs because when I went back there I was reminded of it quite a lot. Next question is from KFG 2003. What was the best atmosphere you played in at Priestfield, and who was it against? We had some great nights in the championship. And days. The Millwall one was always special because obviously being a local derby, and we always beat them as well. You know, I remember Hesse used to be like, you know, we used to try our hardest in every game, but those games there were pretty special, and we always done well against the Premiership sides as well when they got relegated and they came here. But I think you'd have to go, if you're going to say one, I think it would have to be the Millwall games. That was what I used to love them, especially being from just round the corner. So it used to be interesting when we used to go take my mum shopping and people used to see me and that, and they'd be like, oh, God, you know, oh, you had a good game and that, but you know, really they're hating it. I used to love that. Next question, Lee225. Who was or is your all-time favourite player? That's a good one. I'm a big Buffon fan.
Mm.
I'm a very big Buffon fan. I like the way he plays. He always seems in control. Another one who's played on to later on in his years, and he's a legend. And yeah, I think it'd have to be Buffon. Gills, JH, Jason, what is your favourite moment at Gills? I don't think there's actually one. Obviously, making your debut, and obviously getting the accolades of Player of the Year are pretty special. But I don't think there would have been one day, and my wife will probably vouch that I ever come home complaining of being here. I used to enjoy it, even though we had to wash our own kit and things like that. I used to enjoy it, I used to love being here, great set of lads, and yeah, I really did like it. So I wouldn't say there was one particular, I'd say every day, and that's not me just saying it for the sake of saying it, I actually mean that. KFG 2003. What is your favourite memory from your time at Gillingham? Again, I think I just answered that one. Yeah, every day was a special day for me, and playing was always great. Playing in front of the fans and away when we used to take the fans away, and yeah, obviously making my debut sticks out. Winning Player of the Year, representing Wales, and obviously at the time we didn't have any internationals, so help putting the club kind of on the map type thing was special. Next question, James Broughton 95. Who is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League at the moment and why? I would say probably the best goalkeeper in the Premier League at this present time. Oh, not on recent form because he's getting a little bit of stick. Joe Hart comes to mind. Joe Hart's been brilliant for a number of years, and it's interesting he's had conceded one or two dodgy goals from his standard, and people are very much on him like, oh, he's gone and he's no good, and who's going to be the next? But Joe's been performing consistently well for a long time now, and at such a young age. So for me, I think he is the best goalkeeper, and I know him, and he's mentally strong, and these type of things won't be bothering him, and he'll come through it a lot stronger. And I think England are very fortunate to have someone like that. They're going to get a lot of years out of him, and obviously Ben Foster's pushing him, and he's doing really well. But for me, I think at the moment Joe Hart is the one. Fred the Head 2012. Do you remember the sheep, and if so, what happened to it? Yeah. I remember there used to be a sheep that used to come on the pitch a couple of times, so I had to keep putting it back in the crowd. Then it come flying back on, but yeah, I remember that. Liam GFC. Who is the best player you've ever played with? That's a tough one again. I've been fortunate enough to play with some top players at Blackburn. I played with people like Guy, Benny McCarthy. They stick out at Wales. Obviously Ryan Giggs, Craig Bellamy, Gareth Bale. So I don't think I think it'd be a little bit unfair to say to choose one, but I think them 5 or 6 there, I think a lot of people would agree would be near enough in the same bracket. Maybe Gareth and Giggsy would tip it a little bit more so now. MJJK2. If you could join one club in the world and play one game only for them, who would it be and why? Oh, one club in the world. Well, obviously I've already reached one goal and playing for Gillingham, so there's that one. But if there was going to be one club, I think I've always been like, I'd love to play for Newcastle. I'm not a Newcastle fan, I'm actually an Arsenal fan, but Newcastle, the support is unbelievable. And I've been fortunate, I made my Premier League starting debut away to Newcastle, and I remember when they scored, it put hairs on the back of my neck, and it was like, I might let another one in here just for the feeling. And it was unbelievable. And that's one club, I always said when I was young, that their support and that, I would probably, if I could, to play for them in a packed St James's Park would be pretty amazing. James Gills, FC, if you could concede a goal by any player, who would it be? Well, I still want to play, so I can't say anyone current. If I was going to concede a goal, it'd be against my boy. I'd let him score because I know how happy he gets when he does. So yeah, it'd be him. Don GFC Bollard. When you're facing a penalty, what goes through your head at the moment? When they put the ball down, I kind of get a grasp of where I think they're going to go, and then I know if I'm going to save it just by their warm up. So just by their walk up. So I always, when they're going, I know if I'm going to save it or not, because I can just tell by the way where they're going to go and whether they're confident, and that's all that runs through my head. And I know when I'm just going to save it, and when I've got that feeling, I pretty much do. Emery Gills 99. What's your view on current Gills goalkeeper Stuart Nelson? Again, as I said, I obviously want to still play. You know, he done pretty well last season. I think it's been a bit of a test for him this season. Obviously, the manager has great faith in him, which you can't really argue with. He's taken him quite a few places. What I know of him, obviously, he's played in the lower leagues and in the conference. So, you know, I feel that Gillingham are maybe in good hands, and yeah, you never know. Maybe I can come and give him a challenge. Yep, and that's the question.
Cool. Cheers, Jason. Thank you.
Thank you.